We all know that in English, it's possible to speak in a formal way or an informal way, depending on what situation you happen to find yourself in. Now, the same is very true for Spanish, but they take things one step further. Because in English, when we speak formally, it's mostly our selection of words that changes. So we speak, with a higher level of English, maybe with a better word choice, and not use so much slang. Whereas in Spanish, the verbs actually change if you are speaking in an informal way as opposed to a formal way. So there is a very, very distinct difference that you can hear and quickly identify when someone is speaking formal Spanish to you or informal Spanish to you. We've been spending a lot of time practicing a few power verbs such as quiere, tiene, and puede. Now, what I haven't told you up to now is that these verbs will also work for you in a formal setting. For example, quiere, up to now we've used as he wants, she wants, or it wants, but you can also use it for you want if you are speaking in a formal setting. The same is true for tiene. It can mean he has, she has, it has, but also you have in a formal way. Puede is another good example. We have he can, she can, it can, and now also you can if you are speaking formally. So each one of those verbs, kind of ending in that E that we've been practicing, quiere, tiene, puede, actually can mean four things. Do you remember the word for where? ¿Dónde? If we were speaking in a formal way, how could you say, where do you want to eat? ¿Dónde quiere comer? So quiere here is working as formal you want. ¿Dónde, where? Do you want is simply you want, quiere, comer, to eat. ¿Dónde quiere comer? Can you remember the word for tonight? Esta noche, or also en la noche. But let's use esta noche for this example. How would you say, where do you want to eat tonight? Again, in a formal way. ¿Dónde quiere comer esta noche? So where do you want, ¿dónde quiere, to eat, comer, tonight, esta noche? A very powerful word and something that's extremely useful is puede, because we can use it to ask questions to strangers in a very polite and formal way. So puede, you can use a lot for can you. For example, try to say, can you do it? ¿Puede hacerlo? So in this instance, we're using puede as a very friendly, polite, almost distant way of asking someone, can you do it? ¿Puede hacerlo? What about, can you do it for me tonight? ¿Puede hacerlo para mí esta noche? How would you say, can he do it tonight? ¿Puede hacerlo esta noche? What about, can she do it tomorrow? ¿Puede hacerlo mañana? As you can see, these three examples are all the same. What I'm trying to illustrate to you is that puede can be used for not only he can, she can, it can, but also as a very polite way of saying can you or you can. Puede hacerlo. The verb to find is encontrar. I suppose in English we could link it to encounter. So when you encounter something, it's like to find it. So the Spanish verb for to find is encontrar. How would you say to find it? Encontrarlo. So just as before, we hook on the it to the end of the verb and it becomes all one word. Encontrarlo. Try to say, I can find it. Puedo encontrarlo. How would you ask? Where can I find it? ¿Dónde puedo encontrarlo? Try to ask formally now. Can you find it? ¿Puede encontrarlo? The word for please is por favor. Por favor. Try to say politely, can you find it for me, please? ¿Puede encontrarlo para mí, por favor? So here we're using puede as a polite way of asking, can you? Puede encontrarlo, can you find it? For me, para mí, and please, por favor. Tiene, as we mentioned, can mean he has, she has, it has, but also you have in a formal, polite way. Try to say, do you have it? Lo tiene. How would you say, what do you have for me? ¿Qué tiene para mí? I'd like to close this video by letting you know that I almost never talk directly to people in a formal way in Spanish, simply because I find it just isn't necessary or all that useful, because you immediately put yourself at a distance from people, and most people will speak to you using informal Spanish anyway. So unlike other courses which tend to be obsessed with teaching you how to speak very formal Spanish, from my years of experience living in Spanish-speaking countries, I found that the percentage of situations where I found I needed to speak to someone very formally directly is so small. Maybe it's 1 or 2% of my entire interaction day to day in Spanish. Like 98-99% of it is spoken in a very friendly tense. So just to be absolutely clear, if we take a word like tiene, I use that as the same as everyone else all the time for he has, she has, and it has, but almost never for you have, because it's just too formal and really not that necessary. The same for quiere. I use it all the time for he wants, she wants, and it wants, but almost never for you want when I'm speaking one-to-one. Also with puede, that's an exception which I'll come to in just a minute. I just want to let you know, or to be aware, that this verb here that we have with tiene or quiere or puede, we can use it for he, she, and it, but also for you formal. Even if you never use it, it's just good to be aware that you also have that extra added bonus by learning that particular version of the verb. As I mentioned, we have a special instance or a special exception when it comes to puede, because that allows us to ask strangers questions in an even more polite and friendly way. It's not about being formal or trying to distance ourselves from them like the others would be, but using puede, we can use that as an intro to any question that you would like to ask a stranger that you don't know, and you're making your question or your inquiry even more polite and friendly and respectful by using puede. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how to talk directly to people in a friendly way. So this is going to be the verb tense that you will use for you, in other words, talking one-to-one to people. And you'll find that you will use this version of the verb far, far more than you will this polite version of you that we've just shown some examples in this video.